Good afternoon, curling fans, and welcome back to the Crestwood Platinum Anniversary Showdown live stream. On the mics today, you have Kate Goodhelpson, and with me,
Anna Monroe.
And we are the ones who will be calling this game. Right now we have Team Runciman versus Team Jamie Cooey on sheet 4 here.
Everybody enjoy.
I guess we have to preface this with saying that this is Anna and I's first time commentating, so this is not necessarily the stream you probably asked for, but it is the stream you will be getting. Team Runciman winning the last stone draw for Hammer here. And so they will have Hammer in the first.
Looks like Jamie is starting off a little aggressive here, throwing the tight guard. Looks like it didn't quite touch the center line, which means the no-tick rule does not apply to this rock.
So throwing lead rocks for Team Runciman, we have Kieran Skora, and lead rocks here for Team Cooey is Chandra McLeod. Team Cooey curling out of the Yellowknife Curling Club, and Runciman the Sherwood Park Curling Club. It's been a pretty good position. Better than the Runciman stones, which slid a little deep, not necessarily the most ideal position.
Yes. Although it did overcurl a tiny bit, it overcurled in a good spot where it would jam if there was an attempt to hitting it. So it looks like they are just attempting a freeze here. Sweeper is trying really hard to get that line and weight going. Great work from the sweepers there.
Big scrub on the first end. Cooey calling to the hit on the back one to sit 2, and we have David Aho in the hack.
If they manage to hit that rock nose, it would set them up very good for the deuce here.
Sweepers called that it was a little heavy out of the hand and rolls just a hair too far. Runciman playing the chase here with Griffin Algott in the hack.
Now that the red is no longer in a position where it would jam, this seems like the perfect opportunity to play the shot.
Another big scrub here.
Can they get it past the guard? Yes,
Whoa,
they can.
good sweep. Now shot 2, but the shooter popped open, leaving a potential double, which looks like Cooey is going to take advantage of. Not quite perfect execution there. Over curled a little bit. Didn't catch the back one.
Justin playing a very aggressive call here, trying to get buried behind the guard and his top 8 stone.
Lots of late curl here at the Crestwood this weekend, so not necessarily playable on lots of sheets of ice, but you could bury here, so.
This is the widest pat that they've thrown so far this end, so we might expect it to catch some fresh pebble here.
Bounces off the top one, but it still has a piece tucked under, so you have to throw softer weight to get to the inside.
Overall, not a bad result.
No. We have Glenn Kennedy here in the hack, throwing third stones for Team Cooey. Another big scrub here. Again, that late finish.
Great shot here by Glenn.
Runciman's Dylan Empey, again with the soft weight chase on that shot stone.
Sweeping early, a little worried about the line. Looks like they were able to hold it a little too much. Now trying to carve it to reach that blue. Can they do it? Yes. Unfortunately, they will roll out, which leaves them only sitting one.
Run back attempt here from Glenn Kennedy.
Trying to curl it a bit.
Does not make the run back, but does clear the front. Not the worst result.
This puts a little bit of pressure on Team Runciman to get their stones in the correct spots to not leave a double, as it would be open now.
Dylan Empey throwing this shot, third stones for Runciman.
Sweepers on it early. Might be worried about the weight.
Tend to get lots of curl off the center line here this weekend, and so you have to make sure you have the right weight. It can die on you, which looks like it happened here. But no, definitely very path sensitive, the weight here this weekend. So tricky for the sweepers and the whole team to manage which path you're throwing in, which ones you have or haven't yet. So. Great opportunity here for Jamie Cooey to really put some pressure on with his first.
And put the force into play here. Sweeper seems to like the weight.
Trying to walk it over. Doesn't quite roll as far as they were hoping.
This leaves the opportunity for Justin to make a really nice hit and roll. They would be sitting in the top 12 of the house, which would then leave the opportunity for Jamie to do a really nice draw to bring the force back into play. But here, the hit and roll attempt to try and get his skipper's deuce here. Seems to be curling early. Sweeper's really trying to hold that line. Unfortunately, cannot hold it onto the line quite enough.
Fortunately, a missed opportunity here. Cooey looking at the coming around, or just over curling a touch, but not a terrible result. I clocked a 14-3 on that one for hog to hog time. So probably a little more than T-line weight, but
probably would have ended like a back four weight, which would have been okay for the tap and to over curl it, but unfortunately the line was a little tight. This leaves the opportunity for Justin to just throw a nose hit for his one. He might have to roll a hair to make sure that he is shot rock over the blue that's on the center line.
going hard for the curl to make sure they can stick for shot.
Didn't quite make it. Steal of one for Jamie Cooey here.
We'll take a quick break as the teams meet, and we'll be back in a moment.
We are back with Jamie opting to play a similar strategy here, coming in tight.
A little higher than what they called, but still in a good spot, splitting the center line.
The way the sheet's been curling so far might leave the opportunity for Justin to play chases if he can see a piece of it behind that guard.
Both teams going a little more aggressive with Runciman calling a corner guard. Probably will see some decent amount of rocks in play here.
Sliding a little deep here, just out of the guard zone, which means that Jamie will be able to keep it clean.
Taking the opportunity to remove that stone, roll behind the center guard. Pokes out just a hair too far, but overall not a bad shot.
Yeah, really good shot here by Shadrach McLeod.
Apologize for the pronunciation
yes,
issues.
I'm sorry.
I do see we have 18 people watching our stream today, and if anyone is francophone and wants some updates in French, Anna would be happy to assist in that.
Ça me ferait plaisir, Kate. Really sweeping hard here. Again, just overrolled a hair, but overall, good shot.
Kui opting for a board weight for this hit and roll. Probably has had just all of it, or it was a piece tucked, but weight selection is really key to making these hit and rolls here with how much it's curling. So it's also easy to overthrow them and have them run straighter than you're expecting. So it's interesting to see which weight units the teams are opting to play for.
I can see with the guard being so high, he even over-curled on this shot. Luckily, he did stick around. And now Justin is playing the draw, top 8 or top 4, right behind that center guard. Sweeper is really working on this one, trying to get it shot over the back one. Fortunately, comes up just a little short.
They weren't on it too early, kind of heavy cleaning it out of the hand for most of the sheet. Again, just that late finish can really trick you as a sweeper sometimes. And also nothing thrown down this path in a while. The second practice team did have the outturn last stone draw, and so that path has probably sat for a little bit.
Kui here taking the opportunity to, now that there's 2 guards in play, the steal is in play. The rocks are just really grinding, and once they start curling, you really start to lose weight.
Another draw attempt here from Griffin Algot.
Yep. Looks like they were able to get a shot here. Unfortunately, just clipped the top red, meaning that it is now wide open for Jamie to play on it.
Glenn Kennedy here with the hit attempt. Really moving in this spot. It's a good shot.
Ended in a good spot. Leaving the draw again still there, but now that their blue is picking out, they could try and run it if there was trouble in the house.
Rock position here for Runciman is going to be really important to make sure that they try and get this deep enough that it makes that little slash that the Kui team has harder, or as hard as possible. But I'm in a bit of a race to the 4-foot on this sheet right now.
Sweepers were on it early, and unfortunately it just
couldn't quite get it there.
Yeah. This leaves a big opportunity for Jamie to slide one in there, and this would drastically change the odds of Justin scoring a point in this end. Seems to be taking a wider path. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. We've seen all of the draws here over curl.
Trying to get it to finish up some more, get a piece tucked. Looks like they got it a little over half buried, maybe about half from the left hack. Good sweep from the Kui team.
Yes. And good judge. It was also out there. With the way it's been curling for the past few rocks, I believe that Justin has a good chance of hitting that rock pretty thick, even especially with a hack weight. You just need to be careful with the line.
Not quite the result they're looking for. Fortunately, it doesn't even look like their shooter rolled to be shot over the top too, but it is shot over the one in the back now.
And now with a little bit of more room, it looks like with the correct angles, there's almost a triple with the blues.
Kui discussing that possibility, trying not to leave it open. Just tapping the top of the 8. Looking, that's where he wants to place his rock. I think opting for the hit and roll and then sit in the top of the 8-foot and on the center line, try and kind of make the angles a little harder to play that potential triple on the right-hand side of the sheet there. Also blocks off any other hack weight or attempts, again, with that blue rock more open, moving the top red guard.
And it does add more pressure by making the shot. He'll be sitting 5 in the house.
Big sweep early.
Jamie a little disappointed in his shot.
Does remove the stone fully, but leaves the same shot for the Runciman team.
Although Runciman also has to be careful because the Blues are lined up to hit them.
Big shot here for Justin Runciman. Again, sweepers on it early.
It did appear a hair soft out of his hand, and unfortunately on this sheet, anything soft will curl immensely out of hand.
That also, they split the guard in front of those angles there. So less likely to have those kind of triple options or slashing the side blues into the forefoot.
Yeah, unfortunately, he clipped the guard, but it did roll in a spot that benefits him a bit.
Kennedy tapping the top of the 8-foot. Kind of the same spot they were hoping to roll to on their first one. Taking away that hack waiter again. Also blocking the run back on the reds, which are pretty straight lined up, but no one's really addressed or looked at those yet. Especially now, especially the blue one out of the way. As they discuss the perfect rock placement, this is an excellent time to shout out some of the sponsors for Team Cooey, Northern Employee Benefit Services, and Prism Engineering. It's, especially when you have to go out of town for events like this, your sponsors really help kind of ease the burden and make it curling more accessible for these high-level teams.
It truly makes a difference.
You also have Northview Realty and Northern Communications and Hardline Curling. Equipment sponsors are very lovely to have within your kind of team dynamic. So shout out to Hardline for Team Cooey here.
I feel like legally I'm not allowed to say that. As for the people watching, I do work for Goldline, which is a competing company.
I would say too, I personally am a Goldline girl. Our team, Anna and I's team is also sponsored by Goldline, so it's...
But Hardline
does sponsor a lot of
in
teams.
It does. It is a giant in the industry for sure. Looks like it was a hair light here, over curled in the top guard, which leaves a piece open for Justin, and he did just throw it, so.
Big shot here.
The pressure is on as he is facing a couple. Sweepers saying that it looks heavy. Looks like it needs to curl.
Al got
Sticking
on it with
here.
the finish.
Good throw here by Justin to get his one.
Yeah, and bail his team out of an end. So very nice shot. Okay. We have some updates on the other sheets here. On sheet 1, we have Hartwell and Yurko. Yurko up 2 after the first, and they haven't posted the score for the second end yet, but
Sheet 2 here we have
Davies and Lushak.
Yes.
Lushak up 1-0 after the first.
On sheet 3 we have Plet and Fujisawa. Fujisawa being up 1 after the first end. Sheet 5 we have
Brown and
Brown
Sturmey.
and Sturmey.
Yep. Brown with a big 3-ender in the first over Sturmey. And we have Reese Hansen and Strauss, with Reese Hansen getting 1 in the first, being up 1-0. Looks like our feature sheet is playing a little faster than some of the other sheets. Most of them still finishing up the second ends.
Although it was a very busy end. Sometimes you would expect that with a lot of rocks in play, the pace of play also comes down, but
yeah. They did start a few minutes early, ending practice quickly, so that definitely helps. Runciman this time going up with the center guard.
Kui here doing the come around top 4. Good throw here.
Runciman looking to move that rock, tap it back a little bit. Another option we've seen lots of teams would be to just straight freeze the top one and kind of force the other team to move rocks around. But with it being so high, Kui would have the whole 4-foot open still, so.
They do see almost a half a rock, so the tap is accessible. Sweepers seem to like the weight. Griffin here really working on that curl.
Taps it back, leaves the shooter just edge on edge or maybe a piece tuck, but doesn't kick it out of the 4-foot, though it is deeper. Kui here opting to wrap around, sit top 4, really put the pressure on.
Although not perfect, the Justin's or Kieran's shot is accessible for them to now tap back. A little harder now that the
Guard's been moved.
yes, although not off the center line, which means they get to stay there.
Yes, so the no-tick rule for anyone who's confused or just hasn't necessarily brushed up on kind of the adaptation of this rule. Yeah, as long as the rock is still touching the center line, even if it's moved just to a different spot on the center line, it stays in play. There's no option to remove it. However, Anna and I's team did get refreshed on the rules that if you cannot tap it into the rings, even if it is
still on the center line.
Still on the center line. It has to stay within the free guard zone.
That is correct.
So we learned that, I guess you could say, the hard way yesterday.
Really curling here. Yeah,
you can see just how much it's curling there past the guard.
Barely made it past the guard and over curled to not even touch the back four.
Almost would have been better if he could have just skinnied that top 8 one and kind of changed the angle slightly, but it's hard to call those ones as a line caller. See the broom getting opened up more. We've seen lots of over curls on that sheet 5 side of the sheet, so kind of teams starting to open the broom up a little bit more.
Trying to.
This one's hanging though.
But look at that go. Really late finish.
Yeah. About 14 seconds on that one.
Curls to a really good spot here.
That's going to be hard to move.
Although the back 4-1 is still accessible, getting shot is not an option at the moment.
Justin looking to see if that slash is there on his side red, but don't have enough of it, would just go over the top.
Although with the way it curls, they could almost over curl on that back blue to try and slide back button and maybe sit shot. Dylan going up there, trying to see the angles better.
As they talk through this end, some shout outs for the Team Runciman sponsors: Swedes Wild Horse Consulting, Allstate, Tony George, Courage Farms, Rockhawk, Park Power, Pixel Blue College, Evander Enterprises, Prime Seal and Fasteners, BBY Benefits by You, and Hardline.
2 Hardline teams. They've opted to open things up a bit. Justin does have hammer. Nope, never mind. He doesn't have hammer, but Kui is in a very good position here to score 2. So he wants to reduce the damages a bit.
Trying to clear the front. Sweepers on it early.
Pretty good result here. Opens up that slash double. Or run back at an angle.
I guess that's a question I kind of want to throw to the chat. At what point does the angle change the shot from a run back to a slash? If anyone has any opinions, you can throw them in 45? The chat. It's a great question. Maybe it's result based too. So.
Looks like they're playing the hit and roll on that top red because, as we mentioned, it is the one that's kind of dangerous here for Team Kui. Sweepers think that it's down and they're on early. This might over curl. Although sweepers are holding it really good.
And again, that center line, once you cross it, really moves.
Yep.
You have to clear guards and stay on the wrong other side of the center line longer than you'd expect.
As you see, like the second they hit that center line, it just goes sideways.
Unfortunate.
Just that little less weight, and it really acts in a way that's a little unforgiving. Similar throw here. Sweepers think that it's a little light. Sweeping hard out of his hand.
And drives it by.
Just over curls.
There should be enough separation between that top 12 one and the guard that if they wanted to come around, they might be able to play another tap at it, but their last one was about a board weight, so they're probably looking kind of at just through or hack, which then it's question mark on whether or not they move the blues enough. But
Starting to get hard for Team Runciman to get shot here.
Kui clearing the back one. It's really thin double, Justin just suggesting.
And it's a double that they barely see.
Looks like they're just playing kind of the tap and roll open. Try to change the angles, maybe move some things around. Or at this ice, it's probably just the corner freeze.
Team Kui's in a really good position here because even if they wanted to reduce damage and play on that open blue, they're still sitting too. Sweepers like it.
Just bounces open.
Just needed to curl a hair more and it would have been perfect.
Doesn't look like they got second shot. Looks like that side blue is still just out counting that red.
But Kui needs to be careful here. If he ends up nosing, there might be a triple.
Kennedy coming down to look at the angles again. You definitely need to do something with that red rock, but at the same time, if you ever hit it on the outside with any weight,
looks like they want to play a softer weight here. This may seem like a lot of ice, but really, throwers just need to trust that it's going to curl.
about a backline weight here on this shot, really close. And moves it to sit 3. Excellent shot and managed by the Kui team. Patient line call, waiting for it to get over. Making sure you get really close to the top red one that they had there.
We were hearing those yes and woes, which usually means that line is very close to
As
being
a sweeper,
perfect.
we love to hear the yes, no, yes, no.
That's
you know
true.
It's close. Runciman trying to line up the angles. Remove some of those blue stones. Looks like there is a double. I don't know if you can get all 3 going.
Really trying to reduce damages here. With their red sticking around, it does leave the back 8 blue out of play. So playing on these really would help Team Runciman. Gotta go early here. Wow, just makes it. Whoa.
And I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Did get all three moving.
It was there.
What a shot from Justin
Truly
Runciman
amazing.
to really change the dynamic of the end here.
I don't think they could have been closer to that top 12 one.
I will admit, watching it go down the sheet from our perspective, I didn't think he had it. So
Me
really
neither.
good sweep, good team shot.
Truly incredible. This really changes the end.
Doesn't look like the double's there for Kui on those side two he's looking at. And yeah. Jams on the blue one. Unless he plays it across the face, then it's going to be hard to stick your shooter to sit two.
Yes.
Unless you're playing soft weight, which we've seen the teams do lots, but
then how far can the top one go, right?
Exactly. Big shot here from Jamie Kui.
Sweepers on it early. Just cleaning now.
Trying to get it to curl up a touch.
Wow.
Oh, and just sneaks it through the hole. What a shot. That's two big shots from the skips on this sheet.
Looks like when the pressure's on, they're really putting all of their efforts there.
Dylan Empey suggesting the hit and roll to sit in the back of the forefoot. The other option is the out-turn draw, especially with how much it curls. You probably could get close enough to the center line to make that little blue slash onto your draw really tough, but also the consequence of the miss is something to consider too.
That's true.
So.
Like, we need to take into account this is only the third end, and giving up a deuce you can live with. Looks like it's a hair wide here.
Algot on the curl, trying to get it to finish up.
Really needs to curl.
And he does clear it. So at most, we're looking at a draw for two from Jamie Kui here.
This was definitely not lining up to look like this 3 rocks ago.
Nope. Big shots from the skips this end. Really
Sweepers
big
are on it
sweep.
early.
Curling lots.
One of the sweeper already off of it.
Just one for Jamie Kui here in the third end, going up 2-1 over Runciman. We're going to take a quick break as these teams meet, and we'll be back in a minute or two.
Are we live? I am. Welcome back. Looks like playing aggressive still. Very high guard on the first lead rock on Jamie Kui's team. And the guard attempt was successful this end for Team Runciman. Those are two very good guards for Team Kui. Trying to draw behind their corner guard here.
Riding that center line a little longer than I think they were hoping.
Can it curl enough? It did. And now they have two corners.
Not quite what they called, but not the world's worst result. Set up to for a very aggressive end. Double guards for both teams. Come around here for the Kui team from David Aho. We'd also like to shout out the Crestwood Curling Center for hosting this event. Of course, it's their platinum anniversary, so that's 70 years that they're celebrating being open, and so thank you to them for hosting this event and the great ice we've had this weekend.
And
so
all the volunteers.
Yes, and lots of volunteers, all the volunteers who've helped make sure that all of the snacks are restocked and make sure that the ice is prepped for each draw. It's a bit of a tight turnaround sometimes, especially when you get some of the games going into extras. So big shout out to the club and all the staff and volunteers. Runciman team debating the chase on the one of the top four. Looks like the throwing end said they prefer the peel. Looks like they're just going for the single.
That's the thing with those double guards and that new 5-rock rule. Once you have control of the key, it's really hard to get a deuce for the opposing team.
It's floating on them just a touch. Single peel. So tapping in their higher of the corner guards, which takes away the in-turn draw, which would have been tough with where the guards were beforehand, but
now it's truly out of the question.
Yeah.
Honestly, the first draw on the top four is so good that they would only have to guard to keep guarding, and they would be in a very good position for a steal here.
Oh yes. Hard on the curl, trying to get it to get over closer to the center line. You can see it really start to break now. It is moving, but needs to go a little farther and to get it over just a little short.
This is a huge opportunity for Team Runciman here.
Just opting for the peel. Some teams might have tried to play the run back and really just roll the shooter over as far as they could, but clip the back one. Looks like they did and calling it. But unfortunately stuffs it, so another opportunity for Jamie Kui to just guard. However, It's hard to guard both the hit on the blue one and then the run back, but looks like he's trying to come in instead.
If you can tuck half a rock behind that guard and be on top of that blue, you're really taking away almost everything.
The good Christmas tree, as we would call it. Line them up at an angle.
Looks like it's hanging out there.
A little heavy.
Trying to call plan B and come behind it. Which they did.
The angle's not too bad, but there's too much space between the top blue and that red guard. You could get to both of them. Might not kill them both. You can't throw too much weight, but definitely could move them.
Justin is thinking about just a hack waiter here to get that late finish. You almost have to be careful here not to over curl and to just straight jam it on the back blue. But the way they've been curling, it's a possibility for sure.
Hard early for line, trying to keep it away from that center line.
Looks a hair soft and down too.
Just clip their guard. Roll it to not a bad spot. Have to be careful with the chase here. It's tight to that top blue one, so it's visually harder to call too, to get to as close to nose as you can. Just to clear the back one.
And by clipping the guard now, the blue's almost wide open.
Hanging out there. Just clips the back one.
Just needed to curl an inch more to save that back blue. Trying to get some curl here at the end. Not sure what the call was, but Justin did indicate to throw a hack waiter. I feel like the double was accessible. Would we have played the double?
I didn't get the best look at the angles. It depends on where your shooter lands. But here they made sure that they kept their shooter around. Whereas if you play the double, my impression is that would come up and around. So you just clear the house and leave the outturn draw for the Cooey team again.
That's true.
Rock's in a dangerous spot though for the Cooey team.
Definitely is. And also, like, if you're Cooey, you don't have much room to draw. Because they might be shot for now, but anything can happen in a few shots.
Lots of conversation about what they want to do here. Looks like they're trying to pick the red or get to nose, and so you lose your side blue one, but that red will go over top of the back one, and your shooter won't be in a terrible position.
They'll be sitting in a spot where if Runciman tries to hit it, he won't be shot over the back one. Trying to make it curl. Oh,
looks like they're going for the pick.
Yeah. Did the job.
Runciman with the come around.
Thinking about ignoring that top blue and just coming around their guards.
Yeah. It's definitely easy to bury with the draw. We see some struggles with hit and rolls today, so this is definitely the call for them to make sure that they're trying to get their 2 here.
I would argue that a hit and roll is one of the hardest shot in curling. Sweepers are on it early.
It's looking a little light. Not enough to get it there.
Really unfortunate miss by Justin. This leaves the opportunity for Jamie to really basically do the shot that Justin just missed or guard. Making any shot for Justin a lot harder.
If you come around, you might leave them the run back in an easier run back, whereas if you throw, but you might have the hit and roll depending on where your shooter lands up, whereas like those halfway hit and rolls we've been seeing. But guarding, definitely, you almost have the straight tap on the one just off the center line. Fortunately, where Justin's rocked end up, it makes it a little bit harder, but there are options.
Looks like it's sliding a bit deep here. Just taps the top 8-1.
Not a bad result. Definitely harder to get shot, though. I don't know if that draws. That's a tough draw Justin has.
That is a very hard draw.
With the curl that we're seeing on this sheet, I do think it's there, but you definitely have to have the right weight here.
And this is also a slightly straighter side, too.
Not as much of the aggressive finish as we were seeing on that sheet 5 side. So you can always play it, whereas if you wick off that top blue and roll in, that is the option, especially if it's just skinny, but big shot here coming up from Justin Runciman.
like it's hanging out there.
Yeah.
Definitely needs to curl.
Moving now. Big sweep here. A little bit heavy, doesn't quite get it there.
Unfortunately, that's a steal of 3 for our Team Kui. Sounds good.
Before we go to a quick break, we do have some updates for you on the other sheets, which we'll bring to you in just a moment.
Sheet 1 here, we have Hartwell and Yurko. Yurko leading 5-3 after 4 ends. Sheet 2, we have Davies and Holshak.
5-1. They haven't updated the score yet, but on the board, but it's 5-1 we're being
After
told.
4.
Yeah.
Perfect, sounds good. Sheet 3 here, we have Fujisawa and Plet. Fujisawa leading 5-0 after 3.
Sheet 5, we have Brown and Sturmey. Brown up 4-1 after 3. And sheet 6, we have Reese Hansen and Strauss. Reese Hansen up 3-1 after 3. 4-1 after 3, sorry. So we got a center guard and a wide corner set up here, starting the 5th end. Kui opting to come around.
He might want to play it a little bit more clean than the last end, because although last end worked out great in his favor, the more rocks there are in play, the more opportunities a team with hammer has to score a multiple.
Use their rocks, bounce them around, create some backing.
Trying to come around their wide guard here. Looks like it's a hair heavy, but it is a new path, and with the way it's curling right now, it might come down.
Jamie Kui looking to improve upon their last come around attempt, sit top 4. David Aho here throwing. Switching the rocks out. So looks like they've found some issues or some things that they prefer about other rocks. So one thing about events like these is I think it was Monday that the ice makers papered the rocks before the event, so sandpapered them, and that usually can sometimes find some rough spots that get left out that might calmed down over the season, but with it being decently recent, some rocks might curl or grind a hair more. So that's something that lots of teams will be doing during their pregame practice before each game, is trying to pair the rocks and figure out how they want to throw them in what order.
Looks like they're throwing the run back here. Oh, they are drawing around. I wasn't misinformed. This makes a lot more sense.
Both teams very committed to their sides. At some point, though, the Runciman team's going to have to deal with those ones of Cooey's in the center. Of course, with how wide the corner is, they're not going to outcount those other runs. And so they will have to make a play, but opting to keep the play over to the wings and try and split the house around to get a couple here. But it looks like they're coming up a little short. Maybe not quite just nibbling.
With the reaction of the sweepers, I think it's out, unfortunately.
Once again, a round for the Cooey team. Been some routine shots this end.
That's true.
Take this opportunity to shout out one of the event sponsors here for the Platinum Anniversary Showdown. One of them being West Edmonton Mall, and it definitely is a must-see if you're in the Edmonton area visiting. It's the largest mall in North America with more than 800 stores and services, 2 hotels, and over 100 places to eat. And of course, there's lots of attractions there. It's not just shopping, the world's largest indoor music park. Also, there's the water park. It's over 5 acres inside, and a movie theater that has 13 different movies showing. And of course, lots of free parking, which is always a plus. So thank you to West Edmonton Mall for sponsoring the event.
Looks like Team Cooey came up a bit short and overcurled on that top guard. Justin kind of ignoring those corner guards now and really switching up the gears and going to the center. With the blue rock being just T-line, this leaves some room for Team Runciman to sit on top of it. Unfortunately, it overcurls to the guard. Team Cooey taking this opportunity. They have a center guard now. Although it's not their color, it acts just the same. And they'll be able to bury another one. Top 4.
It's really moving sideways on them. And just gets it by. What a sweep. Great shot to sit top 4, over buried. And that was
really good,
real
shot here.
tight, yep.
Look at just how close to that top guard that is.
Great shot, great sweep from the Cooey
And just
team.
a perfect weight too. Because sometimes we'll see those shots that just make it past the guard just to end up a couple feet too deep. Here they're looking at the run back.
Move some granite around in the house.
Should be relatively easy to hit something.
Looks close. And under curls just a hair. Just catches the top one and rolls out.
Looks like Jamie has the same shot again. although the guard is a little more on the right side, so they have to take more ice and see. Be careful about that late finish.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like that was a hair light. Maybe just that difference in path made that difference in weight.
Another come around attempt. No great angles for other options. So,
really going early.
yeah, working this to try and keep it by the guard. And they just clip it.
They do roll far enough where another draw is an option. They can get through that hole.
I do have to make a correction about one of our score updates. It's only 4-1 for Davies on sheet 2. Another big sweep here for this out-turn draw. And then going for the curl finish.
Really
Once
good
you get
shot
past
here
that
by
top
Jamie.
one. Yep, great shot.
Justin's got a hard shot here. He can try the double run back. Even if he doesn't make it perfect, this still opens up things for him for his second shot.
Definitely need to move some granite around and give yourself an option for your last to try and score here. Not as much weight as I was expecting for a shot like this, but something maybe a little bit more manageable for the team. And does clip the shot rock, or the second shot rock, sorry, in the top of the 4-foot, but doesn't leave his shooter around, so.
And unfortunately, with the way the guards ended up, there's no more path for a draw, really. Looks like Justin's last zone might be a run back again.
Yeah. Jamie Cooey lining up the tap, it looks like.
Probably his safest option. He could try and come around on the wide side on the left, but realistically,
Unless he's coming off one of the red ones. Maybe looking to see if that's an option that the Runciman team has. Looks like the straight guard.
I was gonna say, looks like they're guarding. Well, looks like Justin's got a 20-foot tap through the hole.
With a
very hard
double
shot.
tap.
Or I'm almost wondering if the run back double with the reds, if it goes automatically to the, or if it goes over top.
We'll say doesn't have an easy option.
No. We can come up with like 3 shots for him. None of them will be easy. Options are not the problem here.
No, I think the long tap is the simplest.
Yes.
Definitely what I'd be playing.
Really hard shot here. Really got a curl here.
Unfortunate miss on what was a very hard shot though, so it's another steal of 2 for Cooey. And we'll be back in a few minutes after a quick break. And as we get the 6th end started on our feature game, Cooey versus Runciman, just another sponsor shout out for the event. Bassett Petroleum, proudly supporting the great event. Bassett Petroleum Distributors Limited is a Northern Aboriginally owned company serving communities across Alberta and the Northwest Territories. Specializing in bulk fuel transportation, petroleum, and lubricant distribution, Bassett is committed to delivering reliability, safety, and top-notch service in the harshest conditions. Bassett Petroleum is more than a fuel supplier. They are part of the community. So thank you so much to Bassett Petroleum for their support of this event.
Team Runciman here playing guards. They really need to put
lots of rocks in play.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you do that by throwing lots of guards.
They did have lots of rocks in play last end, but theirs were in the wings, and unfortunately Cooey was able to kind of take control of the middle, even though they were a little deep, and a couple unfortunate misses on some come-arounds. In the end, started to get away from the Runciman team just a bit.
Just a hair heavy here on the draw, but realistically gets the job done.
Runciman team coming around. Looks like needs to curl a little bit to get buried, unless they're coming potentially the plan B to come off the top, but
They're
late.
really going hard for
There we
curl.
go. Late finish. It looks like it's about quarter tucked. I seem to have the line from the rock to the hack, and I'd say it's about a quarter tucked.
And with the height of the guard, I would say that's a
no, the chase is the call here.
Yes.
So
especially if you're team Kui, you want to eliminate as many rocks as possible.
looks like ice for kind of a board or control weight, probably control. As we've seen with lots of these rocks, they will finish up at the end. You just have to be patient. More than a control weight, but peels it out. With that red rock being on the T line, sticking around behind the house really isn't helpful for Kui, so just picks it straight out. Another come around for the Runciman team.
Sweepers think it's heavy. We've seen how much it can grind coming off the center line. So really you have to be a little aware of that as a sweeper.
Slides a little deep.
And unfortunately, the chase is still very much possible here.
Looks like another straight pick again.
And he's got it. Starting to look harder and harder for Team Runciman here to score a multiple, especially since on the next one, although on this one Team Kui could have peeled. If their rock placement is perfect, the peel is still very much possible. Looks like the sweepers like it. Just trying to get it to curl. They've under curl on almost all of their rocks here.
Need to tighten up the ice with how wide that guard is. Another hit and roll attempt. A little less weight this time. Don't necessarily need to make sure you lose the shooter here.
Where it ended is almost better. Now the draw for behind their own guard is starting to be a lot harder.
Thirds rocks here, and blue's sitting 3. You kind of need to start making a play on some of the ones in the houses. Or the house, sorry. Looking like they're going to try and hit and roll underneath.
Just curls a hair too much, leaving it open on the other side of the guard.
Different spot for them to chase though, so. But another sponsor shout out for the event. We have Gator Construction Group
We'd like to thank Gator Construction Group for all of their support during this event. They're thrilled to be a part of this event and offer design, build construction services. Gator also has concrete restoration, coastings, and hydro demolition robot divisions and services all throughout Western Canada. Head to gatorbuild.ca to learn more. Thank you to Gator Construction Group.
Another come around attempt here. Looks a little tighter than their last ones. Better position to be fully buried.
Line is definitely better. Just have to get their weight there.
Good shot from third Dylan MP. It's almost fully buried. Might have a sliver on the center line side. But
really, it does the job.
exactly.
Because now Team Kui is discussing. Do they peel? Do they chase? I feel like the peel is the safest option.
Looks like they're going to chase.
Looks like they like the chase.
Hard early. Looks like it's curling
Curling
lots.
early. Really trying to hold the line here.
Just clips the
missed
guard. Rolls to sit third shot though.
Rolls in a really good spot, and Justin still has a lot of work to do if he wants to bring that red into play.
The side one. Looks like they're going to try and play the double thin and hopefully squirt their shooter back in front of the shooter from Kui's last.
Trying to freeze it to that back one.
Or at least increase the jam potential.
Again, really hard shot for Justin. Looks like it's a lot less weight than I anticipated he was going to throw at it. Fortunately, it over curls.
Still gets rid of two.
Kui's still sitting one, but he has to be careful where his shooter rolls, or he might leave a double for Justin to sit two.
Looks like an easy hit for Kui. Might flop in front a little bit. They're going hard for the finish.
That's actually a really good spot to roll to.
Rolls to basically a perfect spot. It's going to be really hard for Runciman to get out of this one with his two.
Because he needs to hit it with so much power where his shooter is probably going to roll out. If he wants to
He's
score one
scoring,
with
it's
the side
definitely
one.
rolling out.
Yeah.
Really great shot from Jamie Cooey.
Mm-hmm.
Given the scoreboard, you're definitely looking for your 2. In a closer game, you might just take the draw to the 4-foot for your 1. But
If you can't throw it hard enough, I believe there's even a blank attempt here.
I think that's what they're looking for, but they're going to take their 1.
I see.
I think it's much too difficult
Yes.
to try and play anything on there. Yeah, definitely drawing for your 1.
Sweepers on it early. They probably think it's a hair down. I think it's a hair down. Unfortunately, just short of the rings, which means it's another steal of 2 for Team Cooey.
And handshakes.
Good game.
So that's a 9-1 final score for Jamie Cooey over Justin Runciman here at the Platinum Anniversary Showdown at the Crestwood Curling Club. Or Crestwood Curling Center, sorry.
Yeah.
And before Anna and I sign off, we'll do some final updates around the rings.
So on sheet 1 here, we have Hartwell and Yurko is currently up 2 with a 5-3 score.
After 4.
After 4. On sheet 2, we have Holshack and Davies. Currently, Davies is up 1 with a 4-3 score after 5 ends. On sheet 3, we have Fujisawa and Plet. Fujisawa currently leading 6-2 after 5 ends. On sheet
5, we have Brown and Sturmey, and currently tied at 4 after the 4th end. And on sheet 6, we have Reese Hansen and Strauss. Reese Hansen up 5-2 after 5. So thank you so much for tuning in to this feature game. It's been Kate Goodhelpson and
Anna Monroe. And it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for tuning in.
You.
If you're interested, we are still streaming the Plet Fujisawa game on sheet 3. However, that is without commentary, but you can check out the Crestwood Curling Center YouTube page for that. Thank you so much.